I talk to a lot of potential buyers and sellers every day with what I do. And inevitably, a couple times a day, I'm going to have people that I've been talking with just say, I'm going to wait to buy. I'm just going to wait. And, in my head, I'm thinking, wait for what? Or you think interest rates are going to go back down to 2 or 3%? I don't think we're going to see that again in our lifetimes. I really don't. Hope I'm wrong about that, but I don't see it happening. Where the prices aren't crashing down, we're still, it's still a seller's market. There's still much more demand than there is supply of homes. So, again, I started thinking, I go, what are some of the reasons why the market is better for buyers as we sit here in the last quarter of 2022 versus how things were for years, ending in when the market shifted right around Easter of this year. It's when the market changed. So I came up with 12 pros and only one con. So let me share those with you. Pro number one is seller paid closing costs. The sellers were not paying anything for years in most instances. They'd pay their the real estate fee, doc stamps, and the deed, but you as the buyer would have to come out of pocket for just about everything else. We're getting sellers to pay closing costs in some instances now as a negotiation point. So that's exciting. It's less out of pocket for the buyers. The second reason is seller paid rate buy down. What we're doing in some instances is rather than reduce the price, we're taking that money that you would negotiate with the seller and having the seller buy your rate down. So, that's exciting. You buy it down, maybe, as we're sitting here in October, they're at 7%, so you can buy it down to 6, maybe even 5. So that's something that wasn't going to happen in the past. The third is the seller paid 2-1 rate buy down. And what that is, it's a new program that a lot of lenders have where the seller buys down your rate and it's 2% less the first year. So if it's 7%, you'd pay 5%. The second year, it's 1% less. So if it's 7%, you'd pay 6%. And the third, you'd be at 7%. In the third and beyond, you'd be at 7%. Okay. But here's the deal with that. That gets you able to afford more house here in the short term. And there's going to be one of two things will happen in the future. Either the fixed interest rates are going to come down, so you can refinance, or there's going to be other lending products that are going to come out, maybe ARMs. They'll come up with other solutions too, because affordability is an issue now with the rates going up in the price increases in recent years. So that's another option for you on the table. The fourth reason why buying a home can be better here now at this point of 2022 than in recent years is seller paid repairs. Sellers weren't wanting to do anything. In fact, they some of them didn't even want buyers to have inspections, for heaven's sakes. Now the sellers are going ahead and making, repairs on their property before putting them out on the market. They're replacing roofs, if they need to replace roofs. And there's all sorts of things that the sellers are willing to do that they were resistant to do in recent years just because there was so much demand. The fifth reason it's better to buy a home is seller paid improvements. Sellers are going ahead and making improvements to their home prior to putting them on the market, whereas before there was just absolutely no reason to. So, you as the buyer are going to benefit from that, be the one that'll benefit most from that. The sixth point of why this is a better home for a buyer to buy market than recent years is price negotiation. There was no negotiation in price previously. It was how much are you willing to pay over list price to try to get the home, right? That's crazy. People were paying, $50,000, $100,000 over list price. They were giving away their season football tickets. Mad trips. It's madness. Okay, all that's gone. So we've got price negotiation now. That's the way it should be. The seventh reason why it's better to buy a home here in this market than the previous market is you can pay less than asking price, right? You find out if there's any other competing offers. If they're not, we can negotiate a little bit, right? So, that's exciting. You get a better deal that way. The eighth reason why it's better to buy a house in this market than the previous hot market, you don't have to waive inspections. Waiving inspections was a terrible idea, but people had to do it to get a house, right? You want to make sure that everything is as you want it to be before you become the owner of that home. And now we've got time to do inspections again and just make sure it's the smart investment for you. So that's back in play. The ninth reason why the market is better now for buyers than it was in the recent hot market is inspection negotiations. Okay, everything was as is before for the most part, or very, very small repair limits that were put on the contracts, and now you can get stuff fixed. It's a lot easier to get it fixed. Have the seller take care of it before you move in than have it be your problem once you buy it. The 10th reason why it's better for buyers to buy now than it was in the previous hot market is you got time to think it over, right? So many buyers just needed a house, right? And I mean, it's like you gotta decide right now. Oftentimes the buyers were settling for a lot of stuff they really didn't want just because they needed a place to live. So you got a little bit of time to think things over and just make sure that this is going to be the right move for you. The 11th reason why it's better to buy a home in this market than the previous hot market is you can have contingency clauses in your contract. You couldn't have that. I mean, previously, if you had a contingency clause, why would the seller accept that when there's 10 other offers or 20 other offers that don't have that, right? Maybe you got a home to sell. Now you can find a house, that'll find a seller that'll take a contingency on the sale of your home, and you can time everything better that way and have a lot less stress. The 12th reason why it's better for buyers today than it was in the previous hot market is you've got longer contract to close if you want it, right? They're not pushing to close in 20 or 30 days like they were in the previous market. So you've got longer time frames. Maybe you've got a home to sell, or you just don't want to move for a certain period of time. You negotiate it out now. And of course, the one con of buying today, and it's a very short list, is that interest rates are higher, right? Yes, they're still historically low, even at 7%, but it's a lot higher than 3%. And we understand that. But, like we always say, marry the house and date the rate. They're going to come back down. I mean, there's going to be other products that are going to show up. It's a lot better to buy at 7% than it is if it goes up to 10 or 12. And there's a lot of really smart people out there who are saying it's going to go up to 10 or 12 before this is all said and done. So 7% isn't going to look so bad when that day comes. So, and again, like I said, you could always refinance later if you wanted to. There's going to be all sorts of other products that'll come out. But, at least you can get the home you want and live your life. And when that day comes, you'll have other options. If I can help you with anything, buying or selling, just reach out to me. If you're seeing this on social media, go ahead and direct message me. I'll be the one answering you. So make sure that you do. If you talk to me, I will be the one talking to you back. It won't be an assistant. It'll be me. And so just keep the conversation going if you could. If you prefer, you can call or text me at 850-677-1630. If you found this helpful, go ahead and like this. Share it with anybody that you might know. Put in the comments what you think about this pros and cons list. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can follow me at Meet Scott Gregory. Look forward to talking to you soon. Take care.